Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Carolina Hassett. President Joe Biden officially exiting the race for the White House, throwing his support behind Vice President Kamala Harris. Here's national correspondent Kayla Gaskins.
After weeks of mounting pressure from his own party, following the poor debate performance, Joe Biden stepping down from the top of the ticket.
It is time to pass the torch so that we can have our best chance of winning in November.
The announcement made Sunday afternoon on social media. Joe Biden posting a letter to his personal accounts that reads in part, "While it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the interest of my party and the country for me to stand down."
I'm emotional because I am still riding with Biden. I still support my president.
In a follow-up post, he gave Vice President Kamala Harris his full endorsement as heir apparent to the nomination. The president making it clear he plans to serve the rest of his term. Donald Trump responding to the news on Truth Social, writing, "Crooked Joe Biden was not fit to run for president and is certainly not fit to serve." CNN reporting Trump thinks Kamala Harris will be easier to beat. House Speaker Mike Johnson demanding Joe Biden resign immediately. Earlier in the day, Johnson saying this to CNN.
It's an interesting question, Jake. If he's incapable of running for president, how is he capable of governing right now? I mean, there is 5 months left in this administration. It's a real concern, and it's a danger to the country.
President Biden spent the past week secluded in Delaware recovering from COVID-19, reportedly growing increasingly furious as top Democrats like Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama flaked on their support. For weeks, Democrat megadonors expressed concerns over Biden's ability to do the job, some withholding donations, fueling alarm among party leaders. As the pressure increased, Democrats began preparing for a potential Kamala Harris run should she end up as the nominee. An effort reportedly underway to vet who could run as her vice president. Kamala Harris releasing a statement saying, "I am honored to have the president's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win this nomination." Even with Biden's endorsement, Kamala Harris faces an uncertain path. The Democratic convention in Chicago, which starts August 19th, could be an open contest rather than a coronation. The nearly 4,700 delegates picking who they want to put up against Donald Trump this November. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
Well, here in Illinois, the Sangamon County Democrats are weighing in on Biden's decision to drop out of the election. Bill Houlihan, the chairman for the Sangamon County Democratic Party, feels President Biden made the right decision and feels that the pressure for him to drop out of the race was building. As for how the Democratic Party will perform this election season, Houlihan says he's not worried.
I think it was a decision that was very hard for him to make, but I think he made the right decision for our country. I think it's going to give us some momentum, and it's definitely going to, there's still a debate or two that has to take place. We've got 4 nights of our convention just after the Republicans had theirs, and I think our nominee will get to be known by a lot of people in a very, very, very short period of time.
Now, Houlihan added that if Vice President Kamala Harris wins the nomination, he feels she will have enough support behind her. Now, Republicans here in the state of Illinois are also starting to weigh in on Biden's decision. Aaron Delmar, spokesperson for the Illinois Republican Party, says he is not surprised at Biden's decision. However, he feels it sparks many questions.
If he feels so strongly that he was not going to drop out any earlier, and that he had the cognitive ability to continue on for his campaign that he had after the debate. I mean, he dug in pretty hard right after the debate. He dug in very hard. There was no daylight that he was going to be in this race. And then for all of a sudden for him to change gears and drop out, I question, is he still able to be president of the United States right now in his capacity for the next 5 months?
Marr says if they are bringing in a new candidate, they're going to have to evaluate their strength. However, he says he feels confident the Republicans can beat Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, with President Biden's decision to withdraw coming just under a month before the Democratic National Convention, many are wondering what is going to happen with the election. We sat down with a former political science professor to see what happens next. President Biden officially announcing he is stepping down in the race for the White House. But with this comes many questions, especially heading into the convention. One of those being what is going to happen to all of the delegates that supported Biden as a nominee.
All of his delegates become uncommitted delegates. And so we're now shifting the decision, to the convention.
This now posing the question as to who those delegates are going to support. President Biden has already endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris to be the new nominee.
She is the only person that steps forward. You know, when you get to the convention, anybody can collect signatures and get their name put on the ballot.
However, what if other candidates would like to step forward? Then it would be up to those candidates to showcase themselves to the delegates.
Essentially, it would be an audition. So candidates would go to the big states because that's where the big delegates are. There might be, say there were 3 people contesting. You might have a debate among those 3 people.
Now, as for how Biden dropping out is going to impact the election and the overall Democratic Party performance, it may be too early to tell. We took a moment to gather reaction from some people on the street around the capital city.
I'm not surprised that he did it, and I just hope going forward that our party, the Democratic Party, can unify behind the new candidates.
Not surprised at all. He had a long career in politics, but, you know, things have changed for him.
Now, with the Democratic National Convention less than a month away, it is unclear just how the party will proceed at this time.
Thanks for watching. Stick around by subscribing today and don't miss a single video.